Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with The Punch. I heard that today was also Joan's birthday. He's one of our cameramen. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, John.
The Punch. Suspension. IU heads for court as PDP appoints acting chair. Rampaging Ogun kidnappers kill 2 and abduct couple. Ramadan, Yobe reduces working hours for civil servants. 1 dies, 7 injured as fire guts Lagos market. Zenith Bank grows gross earnings by 24% to 945 billion naira. FG 22 billion loan request rejected, says reps. Stop fuel subsidy, revive refineries, Pengerson tells government. Labour shelf strike gives CBN fresh 2 weeks ultimatum. Okay, which story are we starting with? Should I start with
Okay, let me start with the residents of Korioja and Bisodun village communities in Ogun State who are complaining about kidnappers coming to their communities and kidnapping them. That 4 people were kidnapped. 1 was killed because he didn't have money. They released 2 for 100. They paid 100,000 and 88,000 respectively, and they were now released. So they're begging the government to come to their aid. That the security people are trying, but they're not powerful enough. That what happened? A couple were kidnapped a few days ago, and it was the vigilante that came to their rescue. One of the vigilantes was killed, and the woman had a gunshot on her thigh. But they rescued them. But everyone is really scared in those communities, and they would love for them to come to their aid before they all abandon ship.
Okay, let me talk about Pengerson. Pengerson is saying what we've always been saying from day one, but it's good when they say it again. So Pengerson, as the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, has said that the federal government must stop subsidizing premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol. According to them, they must ensure the rehabilitation of Nigeria's refineries, stressing that it would help ease the hardship that could arise from the halt of fuel subsidy. Now, everybody has been saying this forever, but when Pengerson says it, it actually does make sense because they are the ones, whenever they go on strike, they are one of the key sectors that if they go on strike, Nigeria really feels the pain. So the president, that's Mr. Festus Osifo, was saying yesterday that fuel subsidy removal is extremely imperative. They must remove, the government must remove it and ensure that the local refineries begin to work at optimal capacity. It says that today, crude costs contribute about 80 to 90% of overall PMS costs, and that it will assist in ensuring adequate fuel supply if we stop fuel subsidy. So, I mean, we've all been saying that this subsidy has to go at some point, but it's good that we should even keep this conversation continuously so that Nigerians
adjust
the reality.
We may pay up to 950.
Yeah, so let's start preparing our mind now. Let's start preparing our mind
Diesel
now.
is showing us pepper already.
But let's start preparing our mind.
Serious pepper.
Yes.
Because the president-elect has already said that he's going to remove it.
Remove the subsidy.
So we'll see how that goes.
If he removes the subsidy and other aspects of our lives are made easier,
yes,
it will be, it will cushion the effect for us, and then we'll be hoping that after a while, the market forces will determine the prices and it will come down. Hopefully,
I
know.
Can we do your view from home? We don't use petrol.
Your staff would need it too. Yobe. So Ramadan, the governor of Yobe, responding to Ramadan, has declared a reduction in the hours everybody has to work within the state. He released the letter March 27th of 2023, saying that people will now work between 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. from Monday to Thursday, and on Fridays they will work 8 a.m. to 12 noon. And is, of course, praying. The adjustments only covers the Ramadan period, just for the period while people are fasting. And it is to also, he commended people to continue in their fast and seek forgiveness, internalize Ramadan's teaching, and form new relationships, pray for security and prosperity of the state and the country. So people of Yobe would enjoy a bit of reprieve during the Ramadan period.
Okay, so the story says goods worth millions of naira were destroyed on Tuesday. That was yesterday when a fire broke out in Balogun Market, Lagos Island. According to the story, they said the fire started about 9:37 a.m. and it was put out through joint efforts of the emergency responders. So the National Emergency Management Agency also said that one person died in this fire and 7 people were, injured. They are already taking treatment at the different hospitals. So they said the fire started from a 5-story building located on 32 Bajumo Street, Lagos Island, and then spread to a 3-story building beside it. They recorded 1 fatality. But the director of Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service, Margaret Adesheye, said also in a separate statement that 5 persons were injured and not 7. But it had to do with, I think, the shop that started the fire had to do with where they sell shoes, wares. So it was easy for fire to just, engage. Because traders were there trying to take out their wares when the fire was going on.
According, also, because I read it in another paper, the Punch didn't really, in Tribune, it said that 580 shops were affected.
Whoa.
Can you imagine?
Whoa, that's a lot.
580 shops. 350 in the first one, and the second.
This fire is not
two buildings. It was 2 buildings. It spread from one building to the next building, And I think it's really disastrous.
Yeah.
Because fire is like...
It spreads really fast.
Yeah, and destroys livelihoods and...
Moving on to Daily Sun. PDP article, Wike camp clash over Ayu's sack. Kidnappers of 4 INEC officials, 2 core members demand 50 million naira ransom. Kalu meets Buhari, says zoning Senate presidency to Southeast will bring peace. Obi tasks LP senators rep-select on selfless service. Buhari inaugurates oil drilling project in Nasarawa. Senate passes bill to extend implementation of the 2022 budget. Nigeria records 784 Lassa fever cases and 142 deaths. Imo Anyanwu, now PDP sole candidate as Ihio Dioha withdraws from race. Okay, which story are we starting with? Let me start with which story? Who has a story in Sun? Any story?
I have a story in Sun, yes. So abductors of officials of INEC in Kogi State during the March 19 general elections are demanding 50 million ransom before they will release their victims. So the police has said earlier that they had rescued all the kidnapped victims. But this story is saying now that 6 of INEC officials, including 2 core members, are still in the kidnappers' den, and they are demanding money. They were picked up after the elections when they were leaving or getting ready to go for the Kogi elections. And so they are asking that the government steps in and, releases these people because they are still in the custody of the kidnappers.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Sun.
So major headline.
Right.
The PDP crisis is still ongoing. Atiku, Wike scams, clash over Ayu's sack. The High Court sitting in Benue, Makurdi, Benue State, has restrained the PDP chairman Ayu from parading. According to them, they said restrained Ayu from parading himself as chairman pending determination of the substantive suit, which has been adjourned till April 17. They've also appointed someone else as the new acting chairman, that is Umar Aliyu Damagum. And so the court said after careful consideration, listening to all the parties, they decided to stick to this point, and we're waiting. Of course, some people are of the opinion that Ayu should have stepped down even when his own ward had voted, instituted a vote of no confidence in him. He should just have stepped down and avoid all this drama. So for Governor Wike said, forget it, you are gone, you are wasting your time, we are ready for battle. But a lot of things enter politics.
So our president yesterday inaugurated the very first drilling of crude oil in a Benue exploration well located in the middle Benue Trial of Nasarawa State. He was saying that the discovery of drilling of oil in the area would enhance energy security and greater prosperity for Nigerians. According to him, he said that the new oil discovery in this region was in line with the ongoing campaigns for the exploration of crude and gas in nation's frontier basins, which includes Chad Basin, Dahomey Basin, Anambra Platform, the Calabar Embankment, Sokoto Basin, Bida Basin, Benue Trial, and the ultra deep water of Niger Delta. So there are
I
explorations.
wonder why we
across
are
the country.
celebrating this, because really the ones that we've explored hasn't done us any good as compared to other countries where good leadership has brought it out. So I'm not excited.
I thought all the revenue were coming to come from crude. When you see that, not done any good.
No, but what have we, in terms of development and the community,
that's
the
a
community
different-
suffers, the country seems to have
That's a
money,
different issue.
and there was the money is.
So you are joining the issue. There are two different issues. Crude is our major source or main source, at least now. So we can say it has done not know. I don't. That's compounding conversations. Management of is a different conversation.
There are countries that don't have
itself
any
has not done us
oil.
good. But it's a conversation.
What I think where Tokpa is going is, before the oil, we
We're doing
were
better.
actually exploring other things. That we had groundnuts, the groundnut pyramids, and all cocoa, all those things. So we were actually living palm oil.
Producing.
So we were producing. We were not rich. When we now got the oil, we just abandoned.
That's what
Because we should have done the oil
As well.
Exactly. So today we'll be smiling all the way to the
we
bank.
We could have shooters, but hey,
All the people that have been ruling Nigeria since 1960,
move on?
they are all to blame.
So the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress have suspended their planned strike earlier slated for today to protest the scarcity of the Naira notes. The two unions said they will monitor the availability of cash in the commercial banks for 2 weeks before deciding on the next line of action. I took the story yesterday where they had meetings with the CBN governor as well. So the president of the NLC, Joe Ajero, and TUC Festus Osifo said this at the end of their National Executive Meeting Council. They said that they know that the banks are trying as much as possible to give cash to customers. However,
can't hear you. So let us move on to Vanguard. PDP crisis. Are you out? Damagum named acting chairman. Cash crunch. NLC suspends planned strike. Gives CBN 2 weeks to normalize supply. Ethnic profiling. MC Olomo must answer for it, says Hamzat, Lagos State Deputy Governor. We thought obedience movement, Peter Obi, were a joke, says ex-information minister Labara Maku. Few subsidy incoming governments will bear palliatives burden. 39 passengers die in Niger Bauchi Kebbi auto crashes. 10th National Assembly, we have become onlookers in selection process, says APC National Working Committee. Polls, it's God that saved APC, says Kalu. Kogi versus EFCC court adjourns ruling to April 20th. And National Assembly extends lifespan of 2022 capital supplementary budget to June 20th. Okay, so which story are we starting with?
Okay, so I have the story about the deputy governor of Lagos State speaking on Arise TV, addressing the fact that he is
On
not...
Channels TV, please.
Sorry, Channels TV.
It's okay.
He said that he's not calling for anybody's arrest, it's not his place, he's not a police officer. But based on the viral video of MC Oluomo, who is also the park chairman of the Lagos State's park management, that he said that people that would not vote APC, Igbos that would not vote APC should step out. Though, according to the reports, he later clarified that he wasn't addressing all Igbos in Lagos, he was addressing Iyachukudi, the deputy governor of Lagos State. And he said it in a playful note. The deputy governor said that there will be an investigation, and that in the case of MC Oluomo, he has come and said he was referring to someone, but that there will be an investigation. And if he was talking to that person or talking to people generally, it will be the issue of ethnic profiling will be dealt with. The police should be questioned. Well, the Labour Party said the Labour Party candidate said police should question him. The PDP candidate is saying that he should be jailed, but the deputy governor is saying that there will be investigation. He won't call for it because that's not his portfolio. He would ensure that the police does what they are meant to do in the situation.
All right. Any other story in Vanguard? Waiki, do you have any story there?
The Kogi versus EFCC, Federal High Court yesterday fixed April 20th to rule on the Kogi State application seeking to vacate an interim order of the court freezing 14 properties linked to the Kogi State governor. Justice Nicholas Weibo fixed the date after taking submissions from both sides, and the EFCC, EFCC had confiscated some of the Kogi State's property. you know. So they are going and they're asking EFCC to apologize. They sent, instead of apologizing, they sent a press release saying the money had been returned to Central Bank. Anyway, April 20th is the day for.
All right, so Senator Orji Uzor Kalu went to see our president yesterday. He said he went to go and tell him that the quarrel in the party, it was God that saved the APC. God that saved the APC, but the quarrel in the party no be today. That's not exactly what he said. But
Paraphrasing.
He paraphrased him. But he went on to express his intention of the president to support him in his intention to become Senate president once the new government is inaugurated. According to him, to bring peace to the Southeast, though that region or the state in particular didn't vote for the president-elect. But he's saying that if they make him Senate president, it will be some sort of a compensation. He also said that the president should not rest, though, that he suggested to the president to take over the position of BOT. That don't go out to Darua and to Daura to go and rest. You must be involved. Say, immediately after handing over to the president, to the new president, you must take over the BOT chair. And because the ruling party was faced with serious challenges ahead of the just concluded general election. We need your wisdom, your highest level of direction. You see, the man that has already...
Knowing our president, he has checked out already.
The man is...
He's not even going to put his mouth.
He's never in Abuja. He's mostly in
body,
Daura.
spirit, and soul.
He's out. The man is tired. He already said he's tired.
He said this.
Throughout the election, he was in Daura. Meanwhile, I was listening to the radio today, and a lot of Igbo people were calling and saying, this man is not representing them.
No, don't mind that. This is one of the most consistent APC
I said this is what I was listening to on the radio this morning. People were calling in. Because of this story, people were calling in and saying, no.
But so there are different layers. He's an APC member. So, of course, that naturally, those people would not like him because he's a member of the APC. But he's as an APC member from the Southeast, he's saying that he's the chief whip in the House. He's saying, listen, I deserve to be Senate president.
What he deserves and what people believe are two different things.
Now, people is relative. Okay, let's move on.
So,
any story?
Yes, we still have crude oil.
Vanguard?
I think it was in Tribune.
Okay, let's move on now to the Nigerian Tribune, our final paper this morning. Let's find a story of not taking labor shelves planned strike. Give CBN 2 weeks to make Naira notes available. 7 injured as fire gusts building in Balogun market. Nothing will truncate handover of power May 29, says federal government. CSOs to INEC accounts for 400 billion naira spent on general elections. Afenveri sacks 2 principal officers. BC can't talk. Zenith Bank records 24% impressive double-digit growth in gross earnings. And there's a picture here of former governor of Osun State, Rauf Aregbesola, in a very celebratory mood with the current governor, Senator Ademola Adeleke. Okay, which story do you have, BC?
Can I talk now?
Let's hope that you can talk.
Let's try. Ask them.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I like.
Okay, let me open my story. I had the story of the CSOs saying that...
While you're looking for that story, we have a story?
Yes, so the oil theft. The federal government has a panel on oil theft, and they discovered that during the panel session was head by General Barry Undumu. They submitted their reports to the National Security Advisor, General Babagana Mugunu, and they said they observed that crude oil losses arose from lack of proper reporting of crude oil production, illegal refining, theft from wellheads, and diversion from sophisticated pipeline networks. The panel also attributed the losses to the absence of robust industry-wide metering system. So obviously we have lost a lot of revenue to oil theft, and maybe based on this advice, they said Nigeria has been unable to meet the OPEC quota, but would. And they also plan to attract foreign direct investment and serve Nigeria economy and national security concerns. We're looking forward to when the report, the NSA's report is concluded and the panel submits the final statement on how we can reduce or even prevent crude oil theft totally.
So a coalition of civil society organizations, CSOs, that monitor the 2023 general elections are requesting that INEC justify the sum of 400 billion spent for the conduct of the exercise. They're asking for a few things. They said INEC should explain why the results were not uploaded to the IREV. that INEC should also use her office to prosecute electoral offenders, that INEC should establish a better relationship with civil society organizations, that INEC should be more prepared for upcoming elections in Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi states, that EFCC should also investigate those personalities involved in vote buying and inducement during elections, that the federal government should look into establishing a special court for election offenders, and INEC should justify the 400 billion of taxpayers' money that was used on the just concluded elections.
So the chairman of the Presidential Transition Council, that's Boss Mustafa, has said that all security measures have been put in place to checkmate all those planning to truncate the handover or foment trouble, saying anyone not satisfied should go to the court. That's what I'm saying. Transition process is on course, and that by the grace of God, May 29th, there'll be a formal handover. So the PTC had been inaugurated, and the president-elect had nominated the current governor of Kebbi State, Atiku Bagudu, and the governor of Kebbi State, and Chief Olawale Edun to both be part of the PTC council to begin the transition and handover meetings.
What does PTC stand for?
That's the Presidential Transition Council. They're the ones going to be ensuring the handover, smooth handover to the new government. So he said that all is in place and the Defense House is ready for the President-elect and the Vice President-elect. So for him, and the DSS and police have all been deployed, and everything is on course. So those who are having bad intentions, that all their plans will be truncated based on...
chill. You can't walk.
Okay, I think that's all we can take on Front Page Review.